Well, it's just over 3 weeks since Russia invaded Ukraine. Thousands of Ukrainian refugees are streaming into Poland. While Polish locals are doing their best to accommodate them, pressure is building as more refugees continue to cross the border. Meanwhile, peace talks are continuing. Our senior reporter Sipa Mandla Goke joins us live from Krakow now. So what are Polish authorities saying, Sipa, about the influx of refugees from the Ukraine? Can they handle the numbers?
For now, they say they can, but they say they are worried and concerned because the numbers keep on increasing every day, thousands of new arrivals. And they are calling on other countries to do their bit in taking more refugees from Ukraine. And they are calling on their Polish citizens to open up their homes. Most of them have already opened up their homes to take refugees from Ukraine. We are in Krakow, which is the second biggest city in Poland that has welcomed hundreds of thousands of refugees crossing over to Poland. According to the United Nations statistics and latest data, about 2 million people now have crossed over to Poland, and Poland has got the highest number of refugees from Ukraine. About 3 million people are said to have fled Ukraine, and that worries the United Nations because all those that have fled, they need shelter, they need food, they need medical supplies. Joe Komane will show you where we are at the moment is one of the shopping centers that has been converted into housing people from Ukraine. You will not be able to see a long queue and thousands of people outside because all of them are inside this shopping mall that has been converted. It's packed inside. I'm talking about women and children that are inside there. They've been allocated space to sleep and they are being given food. And this is a common sight now in Poland whereby you see shopping centers, supermarkets, train stations, sport complexes being converted so that they can house those who have fled Ukraine because they don't have anywhere to go. And some of them have been camping here now for weeks. And Polish authorities, particularly the city of Warsaw, which is the capital, and Krakow, the second biggest city, have called on the national government to give them financial resources so that they can be able to provide food and shelter for the refugees. And they are also saying if the situation continues, they will be overwhelmed. They will not be able to cope with the influx. But they say for now, things are easing up a bit, but it was very difficult in the beginning. Let's take a listen to one of the officials from the city of Krakow.
Yeah, it's about 2 million people. Yeah. For example, city of Krakow has 780,000 inhabitants. So this big number of refugees is a big challenge for us. Of course, every day, basically, different municipalities, cities, groups, NGOs, institutions send us information by email, calls, and offer the free places for the refugees. I mean, about the areas and places outside the country. But we are very we have to be very careful. We are thinking about safety of refugees because we have many situations where the policemen have to do their job, and we have a procedure. So we try to contact with local authorities, receive from them special papers with confirmation that that group of people, institution, NGOs or something like that want to attack and take about the refugees, give them accommodation, give them job, and only in that situation we can cooperate to relocate them outside Poland.
Sipa, you've spoken to people in Poland, locals, who have actually taken in some refugees. What are they saying?
They are equally saying for now they are able to cope, but moving forward their homes are full now. They will not be able to welcome more refugees. They also say it's quite challenging because they need financial resources to buy food, to buy, some beds for the people that they have welcomed in. And they are calling on other countries to do the same, take more refugees from Ukraine, because they are saying Poland and as Polish citizens, they will struggle in the near future. And as there is no hope that this war will end anytime soon, they say if more and more people are crossing over to Poland, that will present a challenge for Polish citizens, because what is happening, the municipalities are taking people and housing them in areas such as these shopping centers, and they need to do the verification process, and it's getting more and more difficult to release some of the refugees, connect them with some locals here, because there have been reports of people who have been taking chances in robbing and victimizing refugees. And now Polish authorities are worried that, as those cases are reported, it's becoming more difficult for Polish citizens to open up their homes and welcome those who are in desperate need. But those that have been able to take some people say the biggest challenge really right now is to ensure that they get beds, they get, medical supplies, and also they need more spaces to accommodate more. In fact, earlier on we visited one of the organizations that has accepted more than 58 people. They say they would like to welcome more, but they don't have enough space. And those families that have taken some, maybe one family would have accepted 4, 5, or even 13 refugees. At the end of the day, they need bigger spaces to accommodate them. Let's take a listen to one of those that has welcomed them.
There is a big building here. Today there are 70 people here. They come every day. For example, 10 people arrive, and 12 people leave. So they rotate a lot. We have 14 rooms here. Every room is for 8 or 10 people. There are many children, many adults, just women with children. No men. We don't have men here. It was firstly the building was built in 1990s, and it was for mothers with children without families, and it in year 2020 it was closed to make it renovated, but it was pandemic. We didn't have so much time to do it. And now in 2022, when the war in Ukraine started, we had 3 days to prepare every room to locate those people. And I think it's, as I have already said, it's not 5-star hotel, but the most important thing is atmosphere, and that they have possibility to eat something, to wash themselves, and to be together in this dangerous and wrong situation.
Sipa, of course, you've been making your way along border cities in Poland, witnessing people streaming in. Are we still seeing the numbers as high as when you got there? And just tell us where you're going to next and what are you hearing there?
Indeed, the numbers are still as high as, the day we arrived here. And that is something that is worrying authorities here in Poland, because they say instead of the numbers going down, they keep on increasing. But what is encouraging Polish authorities is that at least countries such as Germany, Czech Republic, France and Italy are sending in buses here to take more refugees. And from here, we'll be going back to one of the borders between Poland and Ukraine to assess the situation, and from there we'll be going to the capital, Warsaw, and that is where the highest number of refugees has decided to stay. Others have made their onward journeys. So we will be going back to a number of borders between Poland and Ukraine just to check on the situation. But earlier on, when we were there, we did see those numbers of people still crossing over to Poland.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Our senior reporter Sipa Mandla Gorge is in Krakow in